Hey you guys, what's up? It's your girl Daniloveely and welcome back to my channel. And today you guys, we are going to be getting into the real exorcism of Emily Rose for our strange stories. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm actually kind of scared to get into this because this movie, when I tell you it lives in my head rent free, it lives in my freaking head rent free to this day. Like, this is one of the scariest movies I've ever watched in my life. Growing up, this movie freaked me out. So I think what actually made this worse was just knowing that this is based on a true story. So we're going to listen to Mr. Ballin. Love watching his videos because y'all already know he tells stories like really good. I don't know what it is, but Mr. Ballin knows how to tell a story. It's the reason why he has so many subscribers. So we're gonna watch Mr. Ballin tell this story of the real exorcism of Emily Rose. But hopefully it's not too bad. I don't even want to see no clips. Don't show no, just talk, because this movie has always freaked me out for real. But let's go ahead and get into it.
One of the most terrifying movies I have ever seen has got to be The Exorcism of Emily Rose. What
one of his
really
most terrifying
made
movies.
It scary was that it was based on a true story.
He literally just said what I just said, and you, I got hair. I do. A piece of my hair in my mouth somehow. Oh. But anyways, when I tell y'all, I swear, I kid you not, like, I do not watch these videos until I obviously get ready to come on here and react to it and watch it. Like, I don't even want to really skim through it like that or nothing because I want everything to be fresh. And he literally just said exactly what I just said, because this movie was freaking scary and it was supposed to be based on a true story. Like, they don't make movies scary like they do. And I know, as me being like the girl that loves scary stuff, like, even though I'm like a freaking scaredy cat, I can't help it. I don't know what it is. Like, I need to be scared. I have a rush for it, even though I be freaking scared. But this movie right here, I watched it one and done. When I tell you, this is one scary movie that I do not go back and have not went back to watch at all. I'm good on this movie. I'm good.
Anneliese Michel, who was a 23-year-old girl living in Germany in the 70s, who was apparently possessed by demons. And there's a lot of audio recordings and some pretty incredible first-hand testimony of what happened to this poor girl. There's one scene in particular that, while it is a dramatization of what happened to Anneliese, it is certainly an accurate portrayal of what did ultimately physically happen to Anneliese Michel. And it is one of the most hair-raising, horrifying scenes in movie history. In my opinion, it is just downright disturbing. And so today, I'm going to be looking at the real story that movie is based on, which is, of course, The Exorcism of Anneliese Michel. But before we get into today's story, if you are a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, well, then you've come to the right channel, because that is literally all I do. And I upload 3, sometimes 4 times every week. So if that's of interest to you, if you could, please gently eviscerate the like button and then subscribe and turn on all post notifications so you don't miss any of my weekly uploads.
Make sure y'all check him out.
Let's dive in. Anneliese Michel was born in 1952 in Western Germany to a fiercely religious family. Devout Catholics who believed in some of the more extreme elements of the Catholic faith. Now, one of the things that they believed in and certainly pushed on to Anneliese and her siblings was this idea that sin could not be atoned on your own. It would require other people effectively sacrificing on your behalf for you to be absolved of your sin. And so Anneliese and her siblings would be instructed by her parents to, at times in the winter, sleep on the hardwood floor. In order to repent for sinners that can't repent for their sins on their own. And so she'd be laying on the floor in the middle of the winter, thinking that what she was doing was saving other people from their own sin. In 1969, Anneliese would have her first seizure. She was at school, she suddenly started seizing up and convulsing, and her classmates would later tell investigators and her family that it was almost like she'd entered into a trance-like state while she was having this seizure. And then as soon as the seizure had ended and she was done convulsing, she snapped out of the trance-like state. It wasn't until a year later when Anneliese had another seizure in the middle of the night. She had this convulsion and her parents come in and she's in this trance-like state and she's wet the bed and then she snaps out of it and she doesn't know what happened. It wasn't until this second seizure that the family actually sought medical attention. They actually went to a neurologist. That
Is my air on? Okay, the air just came on. I was about to say, I just started feeling cold in here all of a sudden. We was about to turn this off. I wasn't gonna finish this video. I'm just gonna be honest. It had me scared now. I thought someone was conjuring up in here trying to watch this video.
neurologist would tell Anneliese and her family that what she was suffering from was something called temporal lobe epilepsy, where, you know, amongst a litany of horrible side effects, a few of the more significant ones are serious auditory and visual hallucinations, a loss of awareness, and intense mental state. So Anneliese was prescribed medication by this neurologist to try to combat this temporal lobe epilepsy, but it didn't seem to do anything. And in fact, her seizures and convulsions and this trance-like state she would go into during the seizures, it only persisted and intensified. And it got to a point where Anneliese and her family believed the best thing for her to do would be to go to a psychiatric hospital where the staff there was better equipped to handle what was happening to her. And so she checks in willingly, and they start experimenting with different drugs, and nothing seems to work. And in fact, her condition only gets worse. She starts having more seizures and more convulsions, and she starts having a regular visual hallucination, whether she's having a seizure or not. Everywhere she looked, if she looked at anybody in the face, their face would become demonic. Like it would be a demon's face. They would look at her and say, "You're going to rot in hell." And so she began not being able to look at people in the face, and she would tell the nurses and doctors, like with her head down, about these demon faces she was seeing. And it was the first time she began espousing this idea that she was in fact possessed by demons. In fact, 6 demons by her count. When she passed on that information to her family that she believed she was possessed, she and her family believed that the psychiatric hospital was not enough, and in fact modern medicine was really not enough to handle what was happening to her, that they would need to search for help outside of medicine, and so they turned to the Catholic Church. Initially, all the clergy that Anneliese and her family approached to try to help her with the situation rejected her request, and they said, "You need to seek medical attention. This is not something we can help you with." Not knowing where to turn, her family is kind of at a loss. At the same time, Annaliese's condition really nosedives. I mean, it was already pretty bad. It gets a lot worse. She began doing 400 plus squats every day, like compulsively doing squats. Then she began...
Oh no, 400 squats? That's extreme. I don't think she was working out to try to get in shape either. 400. Could you imagine walking in and seeing your kid just doing 400 squats, especially if she doing them fast? Because I'm assuming she was in there doing them squats pretty fast. That's, yeah, we need to call somebody.
Going under the table periodically and not coming out for 2 days, barking like a dog the entire time without sleeping. She began going to corners of the house and finding spiders and eating them off the ground.
No.
She would scurry over to the fireplace and pull coal out of the fireplace and eat the coal. I mean, she was really losing it. Finally, the family located a priest named Ernst Alt who believed she was possessed and that she was not epileptic, and he was willing to petition the local bishop to allow the Catholic Church to perform an exorcism. And so that bishop granted permission for a local priest, Arnold Renz, to perform an exorcism with the full endorsement of the Catholic Church. Over the next 10 months, Renz would conduct 67 exorcisms of Anneliese. And through these exorcisms, Anneliese would reveal that she was being possessed by 6 demons: Lucifer, Cain, Judas, Nero, Fleischmann, and Adolf Hitler. And so
Adolf Hitler? I don't follow the Bible, but I know Lucifer is he like the strongest. That's the main character. That's the main one. Cain is he pretty strong? I don't know. Y'all let me know. I mean, it don't matter. All of it sounds bad. I don't even if she being possessed by demons, it's just all bad. It don't even matter what the ranking is.
All of these voices, these demonic voices that were coming out of Anneliese, they were picked up on audio recording during the exorcisms. And in the movie, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, the most iconic scene in the movie is the demon scene where they show these voices coming out of, in the movie it's Emily Rose, but it's supposed to represent Anneliese Michel. And they do a fantastic job showing what that might have looked like during the exorcism. So take a look.
Give me your name, demon! Names! Names! Moderator of the army of Shashika! Ancient serpents!
Okay, take it off.
Depart from
Please.
the servant of God! Tell me your 6 names! We are the ones who dwell within.
Yo, I'm scared. My mom got goosebumps. Just take it off. I don't want to skip it on y'all, but
and I am Lucifer, the devil in the flesh.
yeah, that horse like, oh no, it's time to go. That horse like, please set me free. I gotta go. And honestly, I don't see how priests do this. Like, this is a real thing. I got to quit my job. This week, if this is a real thing, priests, they are brave. You got hats off to them, because I don't know who could stand there and go through that, like, mentally, and then you taking that home with you. Like, they're probably gonna jump on you. And you know what I want to know too? The person who did, like, the actor, the girl who was the actor in this movie, I want to know what she think years later from doing this. Like, she messed up, but she like a little scared. I wouldn't be able to do no movie like this, honestly. I'm sorry, I can't do no scary movies like that. Just give me happy stuff, happy, goofy stuff, like maybe some dramatic stuff. But doing stuff like that, not at all. I cannot do it. That's just too far. I can't do it.
Of Emily Rose being possessed by
That'd be probably some of my best acting those. I'd be scared for real. I would actually be scared. They'd be thinking like, dang, she's doing the thing. She acting like she's giving us top tier performance right here, not knowing, like, cause I'm really scared. Cause y'all know they do a lot of these, a lot of these movies too. They do stuff like on site. Like, you see a movie of these people like in the robes, in the woods, and it's dark in the movie. Sometimes they be like on site actually doing that stuff. Like, it don't always be green screen. And I'd be scared for real. I can't.
And think about that as you listen to the actual audio recordings of Anneliese Michel during one of her many exorcisms.
Ja, ich will auch für die anderen Leute, damit die nicht mehr kommen und so. Aber dass das dann so schlimm ist und so grausam und so furchtbar, nee.
Ihr Klötze! Nein, ihr Klötze! Einmal mir Klötze! Oh, so down every line.
Wow, this is crazy.
Ruhe gibt nur dort, wo die Liebe ist.
Ja, bei uns gibt's nur ja nun.
Okay, Mr. Baldwin, I heard enough, please.
Die müssen in eigenen Seminaren ausgebildet werden, die dürfen nicht auf die anderen Universitäten. Kapiert?
Geistes, befehle ich dir auszufahren und nie
Gosh, she got eyes.
Initially, the exorcisms seemed to make things better for Anneliese. She got to a place where the seizures and convulsions and trance-like states and odd behavior were so few and far between that she actually re-enrolled in university and was even able to attend church, but it didn't last. In the spring of 1976, Anneliese's convulsions and seizures and odd behavior came back tenfold, and she began becoming violent with her family members to where they couldn't even be around her without being attacked by her. But when she was left on her own, she would harm herself. She stopped eating, saying that the demons were not allowing her to eat, and all day long she would stand up and then drop to her knees to pray, and then get back up and drop to her knees to pray, breaking both her kneecaps and tearing the tendons in her knees, which seemingly did not faze her. But still, her family believed that what she needed was religious intervention, not medical intervention. Also, Anneliese felt the same way, but some might say that she was not in a position to make that decision, that she had lost her ability to make that decision. But either way, they continued with the exorcisms. The final exorcism of Anneliese took place on June 30th, 1976, and while Anneliese did submit willingly to this exorcism, she was incredibly frail. She weighed under 100 pounds, and by the following morning, on July 1st, 1976, she had passed away due to dehydration and malnutrition. She was only 23 years old.
Wow.
After her death, Anneliese's story was so sensational that it grabbed headlines all over Germany, and people were clamoring to learn more about how this could happen. That she was, apparently possessed and then died after all these exorcisms. Why wasn't there medical intervention? There was so many questions. And so ultimately what happened is her parents were charged with negligent homicide, but were actually not given a jail sentence because at the time in Germany, they ruled that the parents had already suffered enough, so they did not serve any jail time. And there were two priests, one of them being Renz, who were charged with negligent manslaughter, and they were sentenced to 6 months in jail. That was later suspended. To this day, people are absolutely split down the middle about what actually happened to Anneliese Michel. Was it possession, or was it, like the neurologist said, a form of epilepsy, or was it something else? And furthermore, was psychiatric treatment or was modern medicine doing enough to help her? Or were they failing just as much as the exorcisms ultimately failed? It's a question that to this day people are really unsure how to answer. Her gravesite has become sort of like a monument for many churches around Europe. They will go and basically make the pilgrimage to her gravesite to pay their respects to a girl that they believe in some way died for their sins. So what do you think this was? Was this demonic possession or was this epilepsy?
Yeah, that's it for today's video. And basically, like my boy Mr. Baldwin said, what do y'all think? Because epilepsy making you do all that? Like she crawling around? I mean, I know it's for the seizures, but how do they explain she crawling around, dropping her knees, and it's not affecting her breaking her knees? Eating bugs, eating cold. That now I can see that more on the psychiatric, like ward side, like needing help. But he said that none of the medicine was working. So what was it? I mean, it's a couple different ways you could think about this. It could have been some psychiatric things going on there because, and for some reason, none of the medicine was working. Maybe they didn't, I don't know, get down to the bottom of what it was exactly that she needed to treat what was going on. Because if it was something like going on with the psyche, then you could see that too. Because if her family was such devout, like religious people, and making them sleep on wooden floors for people's sins and putting all this, in her head, and yeah, that could play a part. Probably drove her crazy. And I mean, all them different voices, if you really make yourself believe that something is going on, I mean, yeah, I don't know. This is crazy right here. Like, I'm scared. I honestly need to go get in the bed and I'm finna go get in the bed and lay up under my husband because I'm scared. I need to actually, I'm going to do that while I watch me some cartoons and drink me some milk and eat me some cookies or something because of this. I honestly shouldn't even do this reaction video. I'm going to be real because this movie scares me and freaks me out. And now it's just like literally, I put this to the back of my head. Okay, it's been so long since I ever watched anything about this movie, this story at all. And like literally over a decade. And I came here, you know, I brought y'all another strange story that we could watch together. And it's only right as, you know, somebody that loves scary stuff that I do this as one of my most feared movies, that I do this as a strange story with you guys today. But it's like, I'm scared now. Like, I'm scared for real. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm just gonna keep talking to y'all on this camera until I feel better. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm joking, but y'all for real. I ain't joking about being scared, but I'm joking about staying and talking to y'all on this camera until I feel better. But I'm not joking about, I'm about to watch me some happy stuff. I'm about to go watch me some cartoons. I'm about to go watch me some anime or something, and I need to drink some cookies, eat some milk for real. Like, I'm gonna wake my husband up. We need to talk. Like, we talk about some happy stuff or something. Cuddle me or something. Like, this is just too much. This is crazy. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. You guys, don't forget again that I upload Monday through Friday. Oh my God, y'all. He did not have to show them clips and play that audio footage. Like, he could have just talked. My boy know how to tell a story, but don't forget that I upload Monday through Friday. And for specific uploads, check that in the description section down below, you guys. And yes, thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.